Hi guys, happy Tuesday. So, I'm just not with it today. I don't know what's up. Alright, so yesterday we went over the cross quarters and all the quarters. Yeah, quarters and cross quarters. So it's kind of starting to make a little more sense to me as in terms of regional. So I can actually kind of absorb this information and apply it to just regular Cornish witchcraft. So I mean, it's basically very common similarities. So I honestly don't know how to say these deities' names because obviously I'm not from Wales and I'm not Welsh. Maybe I am, but I can't pronounce these. So this is the cycle of Ced and Celi. I think that's how you say the name. So we have a crazy looking diagram here with quarters, the cross quarters, and then it looks like the brain. And then we have your pentagram in the middle. So at the top it would be Arianrod and Necton. Down to the right corner would be Freyd and Lugh. Across would be Ceridwen and Nud, and then below would be Herne and Modron. So it's a very different kind of picture. I think I'm actually sitting on my cord. I am. So it's actually a really different kind of picture. So that's kind of how that right there, that goes about. So it's very different, very, very different. Don't completely, I mean, it's, yeah, obviously it's one of the trees of life. Or it's actually the rows of Ced and Celi. So if that makes sense to anybody. Alright, so this is actually the quarters, and the cross quarters can be seen as two sets of overlapping quarters, as in that diagram that I just shown. So this has several advantages over the more typical 8-spoked wheel because it gives a strong sense of the overlaps in the roles of the various deities, as well as making use of the traditional symbols of the Celtic rose. So this is more Celtic, which has 4 petals instead of the more common 5, and which was in East Anglia. So as a symbol for the cunning arts, especially in the form of the knot pattern known as the Celtic rose. Alright, so, but it can also be found from time to time in the form of a Tudor rose. Ew, I don't like that word. Once again, as a symbol of witchcraft, also found nearly in a 6-petal version representing the hex star, which is the 6 paths, which is in Cornish craft. So that's very Cornish right there. Where'd I go? I wouldn't say it's found rarely. It's fairly common. So plus this way, the quarters and the cross quarters are truly quarters rather than 8s. I understand that now. Do you guys? Hopefully you guys understand that. So the quarter deities are the familiar ones that are mentioned above, but the cross quarter deities have a special relationship. So I guess I understand some more of this. It's just making, I don't know. It's more interesting. It's very interesting. It gives a little bit more lore. So I don't know, but now we have Ced and Celi. I really hope I'm saying that right. Now, according to Owen Morgan, the author of The Light of Britannia, Ced is the primal Black Mother, who exists before manifestation. Her womb, is the great enclosure. Her consort is Celi, the unmanifest son, all-father to her all-mother. Okay, makes sense. The gods. So their son is, yeah, I'm gonna butcher these names, sorry. Gadarn, also known as the Hesu. Is it Hesu or Hisu? Hesu? I don't know. Hesu the Mighty, who is born at the winter solstice and follows the circuit of the sun as a solar deity until spring equinox. At this point, he becomes, through a state akin to puberty, Alwyn, Father Hermes. At midsummer, he becomes Plenid, sun longest day, and the autumn equinox he becomes Gron, hero. So these later 3 comprise it looks like this, literally. So it looks like you have your middle, and then you have your 2, almost kind of like the witch's foot, in a sense. It looks like a W without the connecting lines. Alright, so Now, Hu Gadarn, who the mighty was the leader of Simri and was reputed to have led them to Yin's Prodane, Britain from Defrobani, the Summer Realms, during a great flood caused by the giant beaver Afank. Afank? Okay, so a giant beaver named Afank. Okay, yeah. He enticed the beast from its lake with the aid of a young girl, and while it slept with its head on her lap, he bound it with iron chains. The chains were attached to Hugh's oxen, who were strong enough to drag the Afane through the mountains, plowing a passage through the mountains and imprisoning the Afank, whatever that word is, in the lake Linfinion Las. Yep, I can't see these words. Now we have Alawun, Plenid, and Gron. The three primitive bards. Okay, so that makes more sense. The disciples of Tidane, Tadawen, by whom Druidism was founded. A Druidic movement being started would be presided over in a turn by a Plenid or Light Bringer. Okay, so that makes more sense. Now a Grod or Stabilizer and an Alawan or Harmonizer. Alright, that makes more sense. So and so on in succession. Alright, that makes a lot more sense now. Now, according to Owen Morgan, who is Owen Morgan. So the earth is the oxpen of the bards, and these are the three great bulls, which form the triad of the sun, or the head of the dragon. Kind of makes sense. A little bit. Alright, the goddesses. So, Hugh's consort, or Hughes is Callan, the earth, and she matches his transformation, becoming Morwyn, wholly made of sea foam. That would be Aphrodite, literally. Because the sea foam, who is also Venus. Well, Venus, yeah. Now at midsummer, she becomes Blodwen, holy Flora, and at autumn-winter equinox, perfect sense. At the autumn equinox, Trigonwen, holy Fortune, or Tingedwen, Paraith, Barrenness. Okay, so Barrenness. Now these latter three comprise. Alright, so it's the witches. It looks like this, only it's this way. It looks like an M reversed from the last one without the connecting lines in there. So that's very different. This is very different for me. Alright, so it makes a little more sense. Now we have Morwen, Blodwen, and Tringedwen. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I really hope so. According to Owen Morgan, who the hell is this guy? These three great cows, which form the triad of the earth, or the dragon's tail. Oh, so they're cow goddesses. Okay. We have Callan. Callan is the mother goddess, a manifestation of Ced, the enclosure. So Mother Earth, Gaia. Alright, now we have the root and crown. How long? Okay, so this, yeah, the root and the crown of the Bile tree turned upside down. So this is kind of, I like this a little more because it does talk, it does go into a little more, just a little more detail. It's a little better. So, alright, so practically anywhere you look within the various indigenous religions of Europe, you will come across the world tree. And in many religions of other lands, too, whether it is the world ash, Yggdrasil, the Celtic Bile, the sting of the Anglo-Saxon witch, or the celestial pole of various traditions, rumored to originate in the magic and philosophy of Egypt. So yeah, both pharaonic and Coptic. I need glasses. Wow. So the concept of a structure that both defines and bridges between the realms is powerful and nearly universal. As a tool of cosmology, the tree or pole serves a useful function and has been expanded to the Kabbalah to become a veritable filing cabinet, roadmap, and circulum, that is both elegant and complex. So, but for the practicing modern cunning folk, the tree itself a potent tool for working magic, in addition to use in exploring the realms. For many of us, the Bile tree is first and foremost the vertical axis of our compass. So this does make more sense to me. So at its root, we find Anwin, the underworld, home of the cauldron of rebirth. Alright, so this is making sense. Now in the middle is a bread, the physical realm, and at its crown is Gwynvid, or heaven. Necton would be heaven for Cornish craft. Of course, for crafters, there is often a twist to the general philosophy, and here we find the twist to be almost literal. It is too, and as the cunning folk like to turn the tree upside down. So, as the cunning folk like their world trees to be topsy-turvy, and invert the tree so that the underworld is above and heaven is below. So for this reason, this is that the apparent paradox reveals a mystery, which is often referred to as the stars reflected in the water. So this is really interesting, and this is scientifically proven. I love this. So this is, yeah. Alright, where'd I go? Where did I go? Oh, simply put, we are the stars reflected in the water, and this manifests on many levels. So Aleister Crowley was fond of the quote from his Book of Law that states every man and every woman is a star, unquote. And this is another way of expressing the mystery that manifests in the mundane world as the fact that the carbon that is part of the molecular structure of every living thing on Earth originates in the stars and the sun, and that's very true. So, carried here across time and space. So we are literally made of stuff of the stars. So literally we are made, I mean, we all know that we are made of stardust, literally. So, it does make a little more sense. It ties stuff, it just kind of makes everything a little bit better. It just ties in things better. It just, I mean, for me personally, it does. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? I don't really remember reading about this I don't remember reading about the world tree in any of Gemma's books. So it doesn't, I mean, it's not, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, coming from like a ceremonial magic, whatever, ceremonial magic. The tree, the world tree, all of that, the Celtic tree of life, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's just, I don't know personally. It's just, I'm kind of confused still. But I am totally like, yeah, I just gotta get with it and just kind of really understand what I'm reading, and it's hard, it's difficult, so, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting, so I thought I'd share that with you all. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday, and I love you all very much with all my heart, all the way from Venus, all the way back down, and I love you all very much, so. Yes, everybody please be safe and just try to have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.